What's going on, my people? I'm gonna do a quick video. I came across an article that made me think about like the whole vegan movement. It's like when I saw this article, all these thoughts started coming to my head, and I said, like they were pushing, they're pushing veganism, and then then I started seeing, like the foods, the Beyond Beef stuff like that. Uh, the man-made plant-based, quote, plant-based foods. And then I'm noticing lately the animals just kind of like dying, and like just large amounts of cows and farmers, revolting, getting their land, all the, the food, thing going on, food shortages, water, problems with water, but mostly the food, the veganism, I think it was like a processing plants burning down. I saw that in a lot of places. I want to say the number was 97 from if I remember correctly, 97 food processing centers have burnt down in the past year. Whew. Verify that, but that's definitely what I remember hearing. Something I was watching, and I'm like, all this stuff is like just really crazy, right? So I came across an article that was on the UN's website, and they end up taking it down because it's a horrific article. I have to share it because it puts things into perspective somewhat, that they would release an article like this. I'm also going to go over another article that involves eating bugs and trying to convince the masses that eating bugs is the way to go versus beef. They're comparing eating bugs to beef. Like, they're trying to get rid of, the article is giving me vibes of trying to get rid of animals. Yeah, so the United Nations it's an organization. It's an intergovernmental organization. So it's multiple governments. I personally think it's probably all the governments in the world, but it says two or more governments is what intergovernmental means. Their purpose is to maintain international peace and security. Also, it says to develop friendly relations among nations, achieve international cooperation, and be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations. So when I saw this article, which is now archived in the UN Chronicle, I was like, what? I've heard of the United Nations before, never went too much into it, but this article really is annoying, and again, insights, very insightful. It's called The Benefits of World Hunger. It's called The Benefits of World Hunger, and it's written by a professor in the University of Hawaii, and this shit's crazy. So let's go over some certain paragraphs that I thought that stood out to me, that I found to be very insightful and very idiotic, and it's hard to believe that a professor actually wrote this, and they actually released this, and they had to archive it because people were saying it was satire. It was just disgusting, basically. Here's a paragraph from the article. It says here, we in developed countries sometimes see poor people by the roadside holding up signs saying, "We'll work for food." Actually, most people work for food. It is mainly because people need food to survive that they work so hard, either in producing food for themselves in subsistence level production, or by selling their services to others in exchange for money. How many of us would sell our services if were not for the threat of hunger? More importantly, How many of us would sell our services so cheaply if it were not for the threat of hunger? When we sell our services cheaply, we enrich others, those who own the factories, the machines, and the lands, and ultimately own the people who work for them. For those who depend on the availability of cheap labor, hunger is the foundation of their wealth. What? I'm trying not to curse because I don't want them to suppress the video. So, I'm going to start asking people to like the video if they like it. Leave a comment, because I see that a lot of YouTubers are saying this. It's not really my thing to say, some of my videos, I'll put, like, subscribe or whatever at the end of the video, but like, it seems like a lot of, last video I did, it's like getting suppressed. So, I'm trying not to curse. I think it's because I was cursing. I don't know. But this crap is crazy. It says, for those who depend on the availability of cheap labor, hunger is the foundation of their wealth. If it were not for the threat of hunger, when we sell our services cheaply, we enrich others, those who own the factories, the machines, and the lands, and ultimately own the people who work for them. It also says the conventional thinking is that hunger is caused by low-paying jobs, for example. An article reports on Brazil's ethanol slaves, 200,000 migrant sugar cutters who prop up renewable energy boom. People. They're talking about people in Brazil that they call them ethanol slaves. They're 200,000 migrant sugar cutters. Can you believe this is going on? While it is true that hunger is caused by low-paying jobs, we need to understand that hunger at the same time causes low-paying jobs to be created. Who would have established massive biofuel production operations in Brazil if they did not know there were thousands of hungry people desperate enough to take the awful jobs they would offer? This is an article that was on the UN's website. Like, I feel like I don't even feel like I'm reading an article. This looks like the grammar's terrible. What is this crap? Like, it just looks like garbage and trash. I'm trying not to curse. I'm using words like garbage and trash. It says, who would build any sort of factory if they did not know that many people would be available to take the jobs at low pay rates? And I guess this article is saying because they're hungry, they would work for low pay rates. So being hungry, as the title of the article says, the benefits of world hunger. This is freaking crazy. What the heck? For those of us at the high end of the social ladder, ending hunger globally would be a disaster. If there were no hunger in the world, who would plow the fields? Who would harvest our vegetables? Who would work in the rendering plant? Who would clean our toilets? We would have to produce our own food and clean our own toilets. No wonder people at the high end are not rushing to solve the hunger problem. For many of us, hunger is not a problem, but an asset. I could not believe that I'm reading this crap. What the heck is this crap? I'm going to be saying crap a lot because I want to say the other word, but what is this crap? This is crazy. Let me read this again. It says, no wonder people at the high end are not rushing to solve the hunger problem. For many of us, hunger is not a problem, but an asset, a necessity. This is very insightful. It makes me think what was this person? His name is George Kent. The author is George Kent. What was George's intentions? Was he exposing, like, to me, it's like he's low-key exposing something here, I don't know. It says in the first paragraph, hunger has great positive value to many people. Indeed, it is fundamental to the working of the world's economy. Hungry people are the most productive people, especially where there is a need for manual labor. Yo. Oh my goodness. Like, what? It says, but the naive view that hunger is bad, I guess. He says the naive view prevents us from coming to grips with what causes and sustains hunger. Sustains hunger. They want to sustain hunger so that people will work for cheap. Slavery has not gone anywhere. This slavery has not gone anywhere. It's still here. It is still very, 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 very much here. Now, this bug article. Now, this is what I want y'all. If you haven't, I have a video. It breaks down the 2030 agenda. It's in my playlist. If you don't know what that is, it's a quick breakdown of that. Definitely check it out. But this is Time 2030. That's the name of the section of this particular article. Time 2030. People, they're telling you right in your face. It says they're healthy, they're sustainable, so why don't humans eat more bugs? I want to skip right to the part. I scanned through this. I'm not reading all of this here, but there was something specific that, again, was very insightful, and wanted to share that, this is why I think people are pushing grow your own food. I tried to grow my own food. It didn't work. I tried. And I just support local farmers. That's the best I can do. But it helps, I can't even do that all the time. But anyway, my point is that this is serious here. Like, let me get to this paragraph that was just like, so it says there is a sustainable, when you hear that word sustainable, and that's what I'm saying, go watch that video that the 2030 video I put out, the breakdown. When you hear that word sustainable, you gotta open your ears up. There is a sustainable alternative to going meat free. Edible insects, grasshoppers, crickets, and mealworms are rich in protein and contain significantly higher sources of minerals such as iron, zinc, copper, and magnesium than beef. So they're comparing, I don't eat beef, but there are people that do choose to eat beef. And what's crazy is that I keep seeing, when I saw veganism, I thought it was weird that they were pushing people to eat healthy. I always said, wow, they really want, and I'm not saying that non-vegan diets are not healthy, because they can be as well. So let me rephrase that. So I thought it was weird they were telling people to go vegan for their health, right? I thought it was weird they actually cared about people's health, because I just find the media doing that very strange and not likely. They don't really do that. So I always questioned why they pushed veganism, and now I see why. With everything going on now, it's all starting to make sense to me. Like I said, the farmers, getting put out, bought out, sold out. Food processing centers burning down, all these things, the animals disappearing, all this is really looking really suspect. So it says, yet pound for pound, they require less land. Here we go. You gotta listen. It's telling you right here. Pound for pound requires less land, water, and feed than traditional livestock, right? So they're convincing. This article came out a little over a year ago. They're trying to convince people that this is sustainable and it's so much better for the environment. Insect farming and processing produces significantly lower greenhouse gas emissions. Here we go with the, to me, it's all just, they zhuzh it up. They put all these words that look, beneficial for the planet. But to me, on the back end, it's really not, how it appears. Right. So it goes on to say here, not only do insects produce less waste, their excrement, their poop, I guess, called frass, is an excellent fertilizer and soil amender. They say that farming insects could provide an elegant solution to the intertwined crisis of climate change, biodiversity loss, hunger, and malnutrition. People, do you want to eat bugs? Is this what you want to do? Do you want to eat bugs? Because this is looking like the future right here. You got to be kidding me right now. This is their solution to hunger. I just read you an article where they said that they want to sustain hunger, right? They want to keep hunger around because people work harder when they're hungry, they say. And now they're saying they want to solve world hunger with bugs. All right? It says here, insects are 60% dry weight protein. Why wouldn't we use them? She says. But we have to be able to put them in a form that is acceptable to different cultures and different societies. Goes on to say, just as in Madagascar, there are technical and cultural barriers to overcome before bugs compete with beef or any other meat for space on the global dinner plate. Now, I've heard of other cultures eating bugs as like a delicacy, a snack, a chocolate-covered something or whatever. I've heard of this. I don't do it, but I don't knock it. I've never tried it. I don't know. But the way they're comparing it and lining it up to meat, it sounds like we could be walking into our supermarkets one day and seeing this on the shelf. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. They're and if there's no livestock, what are you eating? What are you going to be eating? Like, if there's no cows for them to sell you, So I really, I don't know. This is craziness. It says, while 2 billion people, mostly in Africa, Latin America, and Asia, already eat insects because they're probably hungry. I don't mean to laugh at. I'm sorry. I don't want to be insensitive to other cultures. I'm just laughing because of what they said, in the other article. My goodness. It says that in Europe and North America, bugs are more likely to be associated with filth, not food, but attitudes are starting to change. Canada's nationwide grocery chain, Loblaws, has been stocking locally produced cricket powder. Cricket powder. Since 2018, and in January, the European Union Food Safety Agency declared yellow mealworms safe for human consumption, allowing producers to sell insect-based foods throughout the continent. Analysts at Barclays Bank now estimate that the insect protein market could reach $8 billion by 2030, up from less than $1 billion today. Still, that's a fraction of beef's $324 billion. Not if they're all gone, though. How can we eliminate beef? Eliminate the animals. Okay? Look at that right there. They're telling you that, they're into this bug thing because it's more, quote, sustainable and cheaper for cheap. They want to save money. They want to make, what's the number here? They want to make $8 billion and spend nothing. Right? Because it's a $324 billion, livestock is a $324 billion company according to this article, but it costs so much money and it's not sustainable. You have to feed them and waste, the carbon, blah, 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 whatever they're talking about. But their bug business is, they're going to make billions of dollars. We're not making billions of dollars. They're making billions of dollars. We're eating bugs. Yeah, okay. I see why the veganism was being pushed. I see why all this stuff is kind of folding. It's all coming together now. They want to make bugs taste good so that you eat them. They're saying that crickets come up short in some places. Fried and dusted with chili lime or nacho spice, they don't taste much different from, say, corn nuts or extra crispy shrimp. In powder form, it has a mild, nutty flavor and is best used like a protein boost, sprinkled over porridge, stirred into a vegetarian chili, or folded into banana bread batter. Devotees say they can't get enough of it, but even they admit that crickets may have a hard getting past, this is a typo here, but I think what they're saying is that it's hard getting it past, most descriptions or a meat alternative. Madagascar, however, has a better contender and it's called the bacon bug. Okay. They got bugs in the tacos. They want to substitute chicken, pork, beef with bugs. Okay, this is 2030 here. This is what our children have to look forward to. Good night, people.